There's always going to be more resources, tools, money, followers, whatever to acquire. And you can't hold your dreams hostage to these things, especially when it is the pursuit of your dreams that gives you the best chance of ever acquiring them. The most efficient way to get everything you want is to use everything you already have. Hello and welcome to Big Creatrix Energy with me, Gabriella Rosie. I was pulling cards this morning and I got this one from the Cosmic Brilliance deck. Link below. Do everything you can with everything you have. In the accompanying guidebook, the action step of this is to take full advantage of what is available to you right now. Here's the truth of it. You don't have to add more things into the rotation to create whatever change it is that you want in your life. It's human, right? We're always going to be striving for some kind of change, some kind of transformation, something new that we want to bring into our lives, whether that's a new way of feeling or a new aspect of your business or aspect of something that you do or something that you want in your life. But instead of constantly looking outside of yourself for more things to add or thinking that there are these missing pieces and you just need to accumulate more stuff, more access, more ideas, a new thing, you're constantly waiting around for something new to come to you. What if instead you decide to take full advantage of everything that you have available to you right now, everything that you have in your current resources list, and you use it to the maximum potential, the maximum gain that you can have from all of these many things. I think a lot of us are just feeling very overwhelmed by the many expectations on what we should be doing or what we think we should be doing with our lives every day. And these expectations can come from ourselves. We can create these expectations in our own heads. And these expectations can also come from the many external sources to us, whether that's society, whether that's family, whether that's our friends, or whether it's we see other people doing these things and that gives us ideas and even inspiration for things that we might want to do or try in our own lives. That's all fine and well, but at the end of the day, we do only have 24 hours. We do have a limited resource of time and energy. And I think there's almost like this kind of reluctance to speak about any types of limitations because that comes in the terms of you're having a scarcity mindset and you're not seeing the full scope of things. In reality, I think when we see the reality of the situation, when we see, hold up, I do only have a limited amount of time and energy available to me every day. So I'd much rather be mindful of that and to use it purposefully. Because if we think we can be pulled in all these different directions, we will let ourselves be pulled in all of these different directions. And instead, if we get clear on what we do want to be spending our time and energy on, then we can hold boundaries. We can make much clearer and easier decisions about what we don't want to spend our time on and what we do want to spend our time on. And we can take account, we can take stock of everything that we have available to us and make best use of it. Instead of being passively grateful for what we have in our lives, we can take action on that gratitude and use it to our best of our ability. So these expectations around what we think we should be doing, the different directions that we can feel ourselves pulled in, everything we feel like we have to do, everything we feel like we have to acquire, it's a lot. And if we're not careful, we can pile a whole lot of things into our lives, into our days, that we're not even excited by. And even if you tick all the things off, even if you're busy doing all of these things, it's not going to give you the satisfaction because it's not stuff you truly even care about or stuff that you even really want to be doing. In reality, there's probably just a few things that you really want to dedicate yourself to. And it takes clearing out the noise to put yourself in the position to really focus on what matters to you and to prioritize what matters to you. Here are a few tips to have you doing big things with the things that you have available to you right now. The first one is to do a stock take of your life, of your ideas, of your business, of your resources that you have access to. What do you have available to you? What subscriptions are you paying for? What resources do you have? I know that I constantly want to be more creative and to have more creative outlets in my life, and I've got a cupboard filled with literally stacks of canvases that I haven't even touched yet. So I don't have to look outside of myself for what is a new way for me to be creative. What's some new tools? What's some new art supplies? I don't have to go around the art shop and like go through the aisles and buy all this different stuff, because I literally have a cupboard filled with things that if only I'm aware of that, if only I remember I have these stacks of canvases, then I can dedicate some time. I can pull those things out and give myself the time to play around with them and see what I want to create with them. Have a look at the subscriptions that you have. What software are you currently paying monthly fees for but not using? How can you use these resources and stretch them for the fullest of their abilities? I like to look through the different platforms that I use and what I have available to me and see if there's a different way, like are there different things that I can learn on the Adobe suite that I subscribe to? What different ways can I use these resources that I have to create in different ways or to share in a different way? I use this as a tool that helps me connect with my audience in a different way. It's also really good to do a stock take of your own ideas. I love writing out a giant list of all of the ideas, all of the things that I've been thinking about, just to clear out some mental space, but also to see on paper what these ideas look like. And that way it's much easier to go through it and be like, actually, I feel really drawn to this one. I want to see what I can create with this idea. You can really get a good visual of all of these ideas that you've been banking away. And then you can actively choose to start taking action on one that you feel really excited about. Another key area, I'm just telling on myself here, but another key area to do stock take on is the books that you have been stockpiling. I went through my bookshelf and I made a stack of books that I literally haven't even read. All of these books that I'm really excited to read, but I've just been adding them to the bookshelf and ordering more books and feeling like, you know, the next great read is just one order away, when in reality, I've been stacking up these books and just haven't been making the time to really sit down and have a look through my bookshelves and pull these books off when I have an afternoon where I want to spend reading. We can really get in the habit of thinking that we have to constantly find new sources of inspiration and we have to constantly be filling ourselves with more inspiration and ideas and things that we've never seen before. But the truth is, you also probably have a bookshelf of books that you really would be excited to read, or a list of movies that you want to watch, or podcast episodes that you've been meaning to listen to, or music that you want to listen to. You probably have all of these ideas that one day you will work through. And the point of this taking stock take on what you have, whether you have a gym membership that you haven't been utilizing, it's looking and getting a good overview of what you have available to you, all of the different things that you can dive into. And when you have a good awareness of, whoa, I actually have a lot. I have a lot of things that I can be dedicating myself to, and that a previous version of me through, you know, whether it's signing up for the gym or whether it's ordering that book, a previous version of you wanted that thing and wanted to dedicate your time to it. And you've probably just forgot or got busy with life, but taking a couple of minutes to do this stock take can recenter you and bring a lot more clarity on what you have available to you, so you can start taking advantage of it and start actively enjoying all of the resources and utilizing all of the resources you already have available. The next tip is letting go of what you feel like you don't need. Doing this stock take can highlight all of the things that you do want to prioritize, but it's really going to also highlight the things you don't want or what don't fit anymore. And that might look like taking a bag of things to the charity shop of clothes that you don't want to wear or books that you actually don't want to read. It might be unsubscribing to all of these softwares that you don't even use anymore. When you pay attention, you start to see all of these leaks, and that might be a leak of your time and your energy. It might be a leak of your money, but all of these different ways that you've been pulled in directions that don't necessarily suit who you are right now and what you want going forward. So to really be able to use everything that you have means to be able to use your time and energy as well, really effectively. And if you've been draining your time and energy on these things that don't actually serve you and don't fulfill you or don't pull you in the direction that you want to be going, then take this as an opportunity to remove them and to let go of those things and to decide that you're not going to spend any more time, energy, or money on them because they don't suit you anymore. They don't fit you. You don't need to feel like you have to do everything, and instead you can make much more clear and direct choices about where you do actively want to be spending your time, attention, money, energy. So let go of what you don't need. I feel like making time for the things that we want and prioritizing the things that we want is just as much about saying no to everything that we don't want. You have to make the space, you have to make the time available for you, quite literally, in a very logical way in your calendar for you to be able to prioritize the things that you do want. And even doing stock take might be like, okay, I spend this amount of time watching some shit on Netflix that I didn't even care about. Maybe I want to prioritize watching movies that would really interest me, or documentaries, or reading the stack of books that I've been piling away. It's about being more conscious. The next thing takes a little bit of commitment. This is where you get to flex your own willpower and discipline. When you feel like you want or need something new, write it down before you commit and give yourself a little cooling off period before you order another stack of books or before you enroll into another program or whatever it is. Give yourself a little bit of a period of time to actually think about it. So this might be, you hear about a new class, you hear about, I don't know, I'm screaming at you about like how I'm addicted to Reformer Pilates, and you're like, I want to start doing Reformer Pilates, and you immediately sign up for a membership at your local studio before you've even maybe tried it out. What I want to encourage us to do here is to just pause on that impulse. And look, I can be a really impulsive decision maker, and that can be really fun, and I think there is a definite time and place for it. And for me, like figuring out when is the time I want to make these impulsive decisions and when it is really enjoyable, I learned that through also telling myself to pause and to cool off on things. And mostly, like, if I give myself some time to just sit on an idea or to sit with something that I want to do and make some kind of plan or give myself that little cooling off period, then pretty quickly, like literally within a day or two, it becomes clear whether that was just a momentary excitement or if it is long lasting and something that I want to commit to or I have the time and space to commit to. That might look like taking advantage of like trial periods of something, or even telling yourself this is a trial period of trying something out. Being all or nothing is just not a helpful energy, because it can make you feel really let down if you overcommit yourself to something and then realize it doesn't fit in your life anymore. If you've gone like gung-ho with it and been like, this is the thing I'm gonna do it every single day, that is how I'm gonna move through life now, and suddenly like you try it out and you realize it doesn't actually suit you, or you don't want to go as hard as it, or you don't want to do it long term, that doesn't have to be a failure. That can just be another way of trying something out. That can be you just testing something, seeing if it fits right, and if not, there are so many other options to try. But I feel like when we let ourselves be led too much by our impulses, or when we go all or nothing on something, that's when we start to get into this, was it a win, was it a success, or was it a fail kind of thinking. And life just isn't binary like that. Things just aren't black or white like that. You can make time and space for something for one season, or you can make time and space for something that does end up becoming a long-lasting part of your life. Either way, that doesn't make you a failure. That doesn't mean that you're adding things constantly to the list of things that you have to do. It means you're aware that you're a human, you're one person, and your time and your energy is naturally limited. And so you can make really purposeful and conscious decisions about how you are spending your life. The next tip I want to give to you is to dedicate time to your priorities. We can really avoid planning something because it can feel like it's too structured, and that means it's going to take the fun out of it. But really, it allows you to prioritize the things that you love and to use your time and your resources effectively. So up until literally about a month or so ago, I was going to the Pottery Studio whenever. Whenever I had a morning spare, I'd be like, I guess I'll go today. I guess this is the day I'll go to the Pottery Studio. And what happened there, because I gave myself just complete time freedom of I'll rock up to the studio whenever I want, meant that I was really inconsistent with my practice and really inconsistent with going. And when I'd go, I wouldn't necessarily have much of an action plan on what I was doing. And so I wasn't utilizing my time in the studio very well. I wasn't producing that many things or as many things as I could, and so my growth wasn't as good as it has been since I've now decided that I have set days where I go to the Pottery Studio, and that's based on what works well in my schedule and also based on the actual Pottery Studio's hours. It's not open 24/7. And so I found the times where the studio is a little quieter so I can use more space up, and so I can film things because I really want to vlog when I'm in the studio, and it gets really busy there sometimes. I'm not about to start vlogging or like film myself when there are people trying to eat breakfast or people trying to like do their own thing as well. So instead I can think about, okay, what do I want? What works best for me? And what are the available options for that? Figuring out like the times that works best for me and the times when the studio is more quiet, and dedicating myself to going at these times on these days means that I've also been able to plan what I'm making. And because making ceramics is a real, long process, there are multiple stages to creating things. It means that I have set days where I'll do a certain thing. As I'm driving to the studio, I already know today I'm going to be throwing, or today I'm going to be trimming, or I've got to finish these pieces. And it really helps to be able to think about what I'm going to be doing and to get myself just aware of even what's required, like what I require of myself on that day. It feels a lot easier to feel accomplished because I know what thing I even want to tick off. It's easy for me to give myself that satisfaction because I'm like, yeah, I did do the thing that I planned to do today. And I've been able to make so many more pieces, and my practice has improved so much because I have this set outline to myself where I'm like, I'm going to throw this amount of pieces today, and then I'm going to finish them on the next session that I go in, and then they'll be ready when I come back the next week for me to glaze them. Having a routine is actually helpful for you. And I think if you're a creative, you might have this internal resistance to a routine, and Lord knows I've experienced it as well, and clearly continually experience it, of this rebelling against ourselves. But the truth is, to be a successful creative, we need structure and we need freedom. I would much rather use my freedom and use my creative energy specifically in the places where it has the most impact. Using my creative energy of deciding to go to the Pottery Studio whenever I want that doesn't achieve anything. Whereas if I save my creative energy and my creative choices to where it actually has an impact in the things I'm creating, and I let the logistics of my practice be really simple and be really supportive towards my own personal goals, that just feels a lot easier and a lot more fun. You get to choose where you make your choices and where you allow structure to help you in your creative process, to give you more space to be a lot more effective in how you use your creative freedom and energy. That was a little bit of a tangent, but my point is, when you're aware of what you have, you can make clearer decisions of what works in your favor. So if you have a stack of books that you've been meaning to read on your bookshelf, you can have that stack ready. So when you have a bath or when you want to sit down with a coffee, you don't have to think about it. Your resources are ready to go. You can take yourself to the coffee shop with a book and you can plan. You can actively prioritize the things that you want because you're aware and it's like front of mind. The books are ready to go. You have the options. You have the pottery sessions ready in your calendar. You know how you're going to utilize all of the resources you have available. It's so easy for, you know, things to be back of mind and out of our immediate understanding of everything that we have available to us. And it's just simple little tweaks of being like, oh, I can do this and I can do that, and I have all of these things that are ready for me to play with. And that might literally be in like, dude, how can you organize your creative supplies? Like if you have paints, if you have all these papers, I have things all over my house in all different places. As I said with the canvases, like if I just simply take a little bit of time to organize these things every so often, it's like when you clean out your room and you're like, oh my God, I have all of these different clothes, I have all of this jewelry, and you wear it all at once and you feel ridiculous, but very excited to then start putting outfits together because you find things that were hidden at the back of the wardrobe that now you're really excited to wear. It's really the same thing, but with your creative supplies, whether that's software or whether that's literally paints or access to a studio. Just being aware of all the things that you have to play with will have them front of mind and will make you way more excited to take advantage of everything that you already have. And then the next and the final tip is to use yourself, use your possessions, and use your life. This is what we're not doing. We're not saving shit for best. We're not putting things on a pedestal of, I can only use this notebook when I'm writing the perfect sentences, and I'm going to save this outfit for this special occasion, and I'm only going to, I don't know, you know, the list goes on. But we put certain things on a pedestal and we think we have to save things for best. Life is for best. It's pretty grim, but you could die tomorrow. You could die today. We don't know. There is no reason to hold ourselves back from the things that we have right now, but we feel like should be put behind like a glass wall. No. Wear your favorite sneakers now. Sometimes I feel like I shouldn't wear things because I'm like, what if I get paint on this or clay on this? When I'm like, actually, it would probably look really fucking cool if this was splattered with a little bit of paint, and it would make me even more of the stereotype of an artist, and I'm okay with that. I think life feels better when it's lived and when it's lived in. Homes look more beautiful when they are lived in, not when they're pristine show homes with no character. I don't want to be afraid to have like scuff marks on myself or on my life. I want to be able to live and take advantage and to use the things that I have and not put them behind a glass cage, not save them for some special occasion, but to make every day of my life good enough to be used, good enough to be the day that I bring out my favorite plates and I use the ridiculous cups and stuff that I make for myself, and I let my life be the event that is worth showing up for and worth using your best for. You could have the most beautiful, expensive, luxurious notebook, but if you don't write anything in it because you're afraid of marking the pages or scribbling or having to cross something out, then it's a waste of whatever you paid for that or however rare it is. It's so much better and beautiful to have something that is lived in and scribbled on and marked up. It's my favorite stuff. I love seeing the things that people have used. I love seeing people's computers with their own different stickers on them, or people's notebooks with their scribbles in, their books that have been highlighted in and annotated. Use your things. Use the things that you have available to you. I feel like writing in books is a big one. Like I will always scribble and highlight in my books. And I feel like it's a thing of people not wanting to ruin the book and not wanting to mark the pages. babe, it's your book. You own that book. And if it helps you to learn, if it helps you to add your perspective on something by writing in it, by actually using it in the way that utilizes the tool best for you, go all in, scribble away, add your notes, do whatever it is that helps you use this tool, use this resource to the best of your ability, that feels the most exciting to you. So the big thing that I really want to emphasize here is that you truly have so much in your life to enjoy, and it's way more available than you might think. And this is what I think can really get tripped up on when it comes to abundance conversations. Because living in abundance isn't always about adding more to your life. It's not about adding new things always. It can actually be about removing the noise and giving yourself the opportunity to focus your attention how and where you want to. Abundance is really the ability to fully utilize the time and energy and resources that you have available to you. I went on a silent retreat almost a year ago now, and you know, a big thing that I realized there, a big thing that was like my breakthrough moment of it that honestly changed my life dramatically from that, was despite having so much abundance on paper, I realized when I was there just how much I was stuck into scarcity, a scarcity mindset, scarcity thinking, because I was constantly striving for more. It didn't matter how much I currently had because I was too aware of all the extra stuff that I didn't yet have. And because I kept thinking, oh, when I have this, I'll be able to do that, and I need all of this extra stuff, because I wasn't aware of everything I had, because I wasn't fully utilizing and enjoying everything that I have, I thought that I just needed more. And only when more comes, then you're gonna be happy. You know, that old chestnut. This is truly an example of me doing everything I can with everything I have, of taking advantage of all the resources that I have available to me. And even if I'm like, I'm still learning how to do this and how to make videos like this, I already have the tools. I don't need extra tools. I think this can be a really common thing as well that comes in the way of people when you want to pursue content creation, of like, what camera are you using and what's your microphone and what software do you use? Use whatever you have. The best gear is the stuff you have available to you right now. Use it, stretch it to its limits. And only if you're like, okay, I'm ready to upgrade, or I really want to use a particular feature on this other thing, then you can invest. Like, I think the ability to actually get creative with the resources that you have, and to see, even if there are restrictions, if maybe you don't have enough money to invest in the things that you want right now, see it as a creative exercise to film on your phone or use whatever you have available to you now to create the things that you want. And those limitations will provide ways for you to flex your creativity and to create something that other people aren't doing, or in the way that they aren't doing. And it might be from a place of, well, I was forced to figure it out in a different way because I couldn't just go out and buy that thing that I thought I needed. But in that's when creativity happens. That is when your own style or way of doing things gets developed. I hope this episode has reminded you that you have so much in your life to be grateful for. And look, writing your gratitude list down is nice. It's nice, right? But really, you owe it to yourself to utilize it all, to take action, to not just write things in a list, but to actually be conscious in your life and to use the things that you are grateful for, and to take advantage of all of the things that you have to be grateful for, to enjoy your life and everything that you have access to. And it's from this place of actually utilizing the many resources that you have, that you can create things that will go on to serve other people. This is how you get your cup overflowing, so you can be really helpful to the rest of the world. This is everything that I wanted to share today. I hope you liked the setup of me utilizing what I have. You can get the Cosmic Brilliance deck and the guidebook at GabriellaRosie.com. Remember, you can be, do, and have anything and everything you desire. I will speak to you in the next one. Bye.